friends. In episode 2, we explored those fragments of Mahadev who sustained creation through wisdom and peace. But have you ever wondered what Mahadev's wrath looks like when the limits of unrighteousness are crossed? When dialogue fails, the divine weapons must rise. I am Gaurav. In today's episode of Puranic Files, we won't be talking about the peace. Today, we enter the world of those avatars of Mahadev who shook the very foundation of the universe, the form known as the Rudra avatars. Today, we will learn about the terrifying form born from a single lock of his hair when Goddess Sati was insulted, Veerabhadra. We will uncover the avatar who decapitated Brahma himself and the Sharabha form that pacified even the fierce Lord Narasimha. But this journey isn't just about destruction. We will witness the sacred fire of Grihapati, the sacrifice of Yatinath, and great trial of Arjuna during the Dwapar Yuga in the form of Kirat. We will discover how these Rudra and Leela avatars rewrote the law of creation. Prepare yourself for journey through fierce anger and grueling trials. Let us begin with the first great destruction event of Puranic history, where the pride of a king Daksh was shattered by Veerabhadra. Chapter 2. Veerabhadra. In the earlier era of creation, as the foundation of Dharma were being laid, an ego was born that dared to challenge Mahadev, King Daksh, who invited every deity to his great yajna, but intentionally insulted Mahadev. When Goddess Sati could not bear this insult to her husband, she sacrificed her life in the sacrificial fire. That was the moment Mahadev's patience finally broke. Consumed by fury, Mahadev tore a lock of his hair and struck it against the mountain. From that single strand emerged the most terrifying warrior in creation, Veerabhadra. His body was dark as storm, wielding weapons of ultimate destruction, his eyes burning with rage that could turn the cosmos to ash. Veerabhadra was no ordinary avatar. He was the literal manifestation of Mahadev's wrath. Within minutes, Veerabhadra decapitated Daksh's army and his bride. For the first time, creation witnessed that when Mahadev turns Rudra, no god or power can stop him. Veerabhadra severed Daksh's head and threw it into the Yajna Agni. This was the first great destruction in Puranic history, proving that ego can never stand above Dharma. But did Veerabhadra came only for destruction? No, he revived Daksh by giving him the head of a goat, teaching the world that Mahadev's wrath is not just for punishment. It is to destroy the ego and bring out the transformation. Veerabhadra teaches us that when it comes to dignity and righteousness, even anger becomes a sacred force. Chapter 3. Lord Sharabha. While Veerabhadra was born to crush Daksh's ego, Mahadev's next Rudra avatar appeared to save creation from a fury that could have incarcerated heaven and earth alike. This is the story of time when Lord Vishnu took the Narasimha avatar to slay the demon Hiranyakashipu. But even after the kill, Narasimha's rage did not subside, and his fierce form became a threat to the universe. When all gods failed to calm Lord Narasimha, they sought Mahadev's help. Then appeared the most unique and powerful of Mahadev's form, Lord Sharabha, a creature half lion and half bird, with 8 legs and massive wings. Sharabha's roar challenged the fury of Narasimha. This was not a clash of two destructive forces, but an effort to restore balance to the cosmos. According to Purans, Sharabha enveloped Lord Narasimha with his vast wings and began to pacify him with his divine energy. In some accounts, it was grand battle, in others, a touch of divine love. Ultimately, Narasimha recognized that Sharabha was Mahadev himself. His anger vanished and he sang hymns in praise of Shiva. This moment proved that Mahadev is not just a destroyer, but the force that can turn destruction back into peace. The Sharabha avatar teaches us that no matter how great power is, its ultimate purpose must be the greater good. But when power becomes destructive, a new force must arise to contain it. Sharabha is that Rudra form of Mahadev that brings creation back to path of Dharma. But Mahadev's next avatar reveals another side of his wrath, one that broke ego of Brahma himself, the one we call Bhairava. Chapter 4. Bhairava. During the process of creation, a debate arose between Brahma and Vishnu, who is the greatest in the universe. At that time, Lord Brahma had 5 heads, and his 5th head became filled with ego. He spoke words toward Mahadev that were unjust. In that instant, from Mahadev's fierce wrath, a power emerged that made even time itself tremble. He was Kaal Bhairava. Without a moment's delay, Bhairava used his nails to sever 5th head of Brahma, the seat of his ego. This wasn't an ordinary violence, it was a divine act to eliminate ego from the universe. However, to repent for the sin of Brahma Hatya, Bhairava wandered for years as a Kapali, finally finding liberation in Kashi. Even today, Kaal Bhairava is revered as the Kotwal or the protector of Kashi. The form of Kaal Bhairava is as terrifying as its benevolent. Wielding a staff, wearing a garland of skulls, and accompanied by his mount, a black dog. He is the Kaal of even death of God, which is why he is called Mahakal. He teaches us not to fear death, but to kill the fear and pride within us. Through his worship, one becomes free from the bonds of time and karma. Bhairava taught us that the destruction of ego is the true path of peace. But Mahadev's next avatar was born not from anger, but from intense penance, that the power of fire, an avatar who came as son of Brahman's home to teach sanctity of household life. Get ready to meet Mahadev's fire element avatar, whom we know as Grihapati. Chapter 5. Grihapati. Where Bhairava destroyed Brahma's ego and appeared in the dark valleys of Kashi. As Kaal, Mahadev's next avatar appeared in a completely opposite form. This story shifts from fierce Rudra towards a sacred fire. If Bhairava is the lord of cremation and death. Grihapati is the fire of home that keeps life and discipline burning. On the banks of Narmada river, sage Vishwanath and his wife Suchismati performed ruling penance for years. Their only wish? For Mahadev himself to be born as their son. Pleased by their devotion, Mahadev took form of a radiant child named Grihapati. But he was no ordinary son. He was a literal manifestation of Mahadev's Agni Tattva, i.e. fire element. His birth tells us that Mahadev is present not only in renunciation but also in the sanctity of family life. A major turning point came in Grihapati's story when sage Narad revealed that the boy's lifespan was very short. But Grihapati did not stop in fear. He went to Kashi and performed such intense penance that even Lord Indra came to stop him. Indra tried to terrify him, but Grihapati's patience did not break. Witnessing his unwavering resolve, Mahadev appeared and granted him the authority of Agni Dev. He made Grihapati immortal, established his presence in the fire of every home in creation. Grihapati teaches us that being Raudra doesn't just mean being angry. It means having a burning desire and discipline for one's goals. He taught that true warrior is one who burns his fear in fire of penance. Grihapati is that fire fragment of Mahadev who still spreads peace and light in every sacrificial altar and every household hearth. But friends, what happens when Mahadev comes as a guest to test his devotee? To find out, let's move to the next avatar, Yatinath. Chapter 6, Yatinath. Grihapati taught us that the fire of resolve can defeat death. But Mahadev's Leela isn't present only in penance. Sometimes he arrives at our doorstep as an unknown traveler to see if our hearts beat for others. Let us learn about the fragment of Mahadev who immortalized the sanctity of Ati Devo Bhav, i.e. the guest is God. In history of creation, his name is Yatinath. There was a devotee from Bhil tribe named Ahuk and his wife Ahuka. Both were supreme devotees of Mahadev. One evening, Mahadev arrived at their door in the guise of a monk. Their hut was small, with space for only 2 people. Ahuk decided that he would keep watch outside so that his guest Yatinath could sleep comfortably inside. That night, a wild animal attacked Ahuk in the forest and he passed away. In the morning, when Yatinath saw that a devotee had lost his life because of him, he expressed great sorrow. But Ahuka, without a single complaint, decided to sacrifice herself alongside her husband. It was then that Yatinath revealed his true form. Mahadev was so pleased with their selfless service that he granted them a boon, that they will meet again in their next life. That same Ahuk and Ahuka were born as King Nal and Queen Damayanti, whose eternal love story is still here today. The Yatinath avatar teaches us that between destruction and peace there is another path, that is sacrifice. Mahadev tests our faith only when we are going through our darkest time But Mahadev's tests aren't only for sages and the poor. Sometimes he challenges even the greatest warrior, an avatar who shattered Arjun's ego on the battlefield, a hunter's form known as Kirat. Chapter 7, Kirat. The Yatinath avatar showed us how simple devotee sacrificed everything. But Mahadev's trials are not limited only to sages. Sometimes Mahadev manifests to break the pride of the world's greatest warriors. This is a story from the Mahabharata era, when Arjuna, the son of Pandu, was performing intense penance to obtain the Parshupastra. It was then that Mahadev assumed the form of a hunter known as Kirat. While Arjuna was deep in meditation, a terrifying demon took a form of boar to attack him. Arjuna fired his arrow, but at that exact moment, another arrow struck the prey. That arrow belonged to Kirat. Arjuna, considered the world's greatest archer, did not appreciate this audacity from a simple hunter. A fierce battle broke out between the two. Divine weapons on one side and incredible power of Kirat on the other. Kirat laughed off every of Arjuna's strikes. When Arjuna's weapons were exhausted, he turned to wrestling, but it was impossible to move Kirat. Exhausted, Arjuna fashioned a shivling out of clay and offered flowers to it. Miraculously, those flowers appeared on the head of Kirat. Arjuna realized this was no ordinary hunter, but Mahadev himself. His pride was shattered. Mahadev smiled and embraced Arjuna and gifted him the Pashupastra that changed the course of the Mahabharata. The Kirat avatar teaches us that true strength lies not in weapons, but in humility. As long as there is I, one cannot find the divine. But friends, Mahadev doesn't only test great warriors, he can also test the faith of a small child, an avatar who took the form of Lord Indra just to answer a call of young boy. Let us learn about that wondrous form known as Sureshwar. Chapter 8, Sureshwar. Mahadev's way of testing has always been unique. The story of Sureshwar avatar is about a young boy named Manu who began praying to Mahadev out of a simple longing for milk. Mahadev took the form of Lord Indra, whom we call Sureshwar, and tried to distract Manu, even going as far as to criticize Shiv himself. But the child's devotion was so firm that he was willing to face in thunderbolt rather than abandon his lord. Pleased, Mahadev granted Manu the Shir Sagar, the ocean of milk itself. This avatar tells us that before the true devotion, even Indra, the king of gods, must bow. And friends, Mahadev's play is infinite. In this sequence, two other great fragments must be mentioned. First is Jayanta, the symbol of that form of Mahadev who explained the difference between poison and nectar for the welfare of creation. And the second is Pinaka, considered a fragment of the power of Mahadev's bow itself, which protected Dharma for ages. These two fragments tells us that Mahadev's power is present in every atom and every weapon of creation. From Dattatreya to Sureshwar, we have seen those fragments of Mahadev who showed us the path of wisdom and sacrifice. But one thing, did you notice? Why didn't we describe the most famous and globally recognized 11th avatar in this entire sequence? They say he too is a partial avatar, but his power was equal to complete Shiv himself, an avatar without whom the Ramayana is incomplete and whose devotion wipes away every obstacle in the universe. Despite being a fragment, this 11th showed the power of the whole. We will uncover his secret and his epic saga in the next episode. Until then, achieve the destruction of your inner pride and find your peace. Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Lakshman.